Hey everyone, my name is Tim, and today I'm going to be going over a Dividend Aristocrat. That is a company that has been paying dividends and increasing their dividend every year for over 25 years and are also in the S&P 500. So today I'm going to be doing a review of the ticker symbol BIN, which is Franklin Resources. I'm going to be going over their stats, their dividend payments, and basically everything you need to know to help you do your own research in order to figure out if this is a dividend stock you're interested in owning. And this is not going to be financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. So this is just to help and guide you on your own research. I'm not telling you to invest in this or any other stock or options, so keep that under advisement. So the stock I'm going to be talking about again is ticker symbol BIN. It is Franklin Resources Inc. Over the last year, they are down 14.68%, which is kind of disappointing, but with everything going on, it's somewhat to be expected. They have an PE ratio, which is the price to earnings ratio of 7.04. They have a dividend yield of 4.54% and a dividend rate which equals $1.16 per share per year. They do pay quarterly. They have a market cap of 12.84 billion here on Seeking Alpha, but on another site that I use for my research, it actually has it listed at $12.8 billion. So there is a slight difference between them. I'm not really quite sure which one is more accurate, but I'm willing to go with the other one as being more accurate as it's updated more frequently than Seeking Alpha is. For their profile, Franklin Resources Inc. is a publicly owned asset management holding company. Through its subsidiaries, the firm provides its services to individuals, institutions, pension plans, trusts, and partnerships. It launches equity, fixed income, balanced, and multi-asset mutual funds. Through its subsidiaries, the firm invests in the public equity, fixed income, and alternative markets. Franklin Resources was founded in 1947 and is based in San Mateo, California, with an additional office in Hyderabad, India. They have 10,400 employees. I apologize if you saw my arm move just a few minutes ago. It was my cat, Harmony, jumping onto my lap and wanting to be cuddled. So that's why I lifted my arm somewhat so she could climb into my lap. So Franklin Resources has a payout ratio of 27.63%. That means that out of all their profits, they pay out that amount in dividends to their shareholders and keeping the rest behind for either expanding their business or saving for an emergency or saving for any time that they think they may need it. They do have a 5-year growth rate of 8.45%, and they have grown their dividend steadily over the last 25 years. They pay out again quarterly, and they pay out 29 cents per quarter per share. That gives you that $1.16 per share per year. Their last ex-dividend date, which is the last date that they record to pay out their dividend. So you have to own the share before the ex-dividend date. And the next one isn't going to be until June. So you have from now until June of 2022 to purchase this stock if you want to add it to your portfolio. If you purchase it before the ex-dividend date, you will receive the dividend. If you purchase it on the ex-dividend date, you will not. So keep that in mind. On Google Finance here, you can see I'm comparing Franklin Resources to the S&P 500. Over the last year, there are several times that Franklin Resources was performing better than the S&P 500, but right now they are currently performing far worse than the S&P 500, being down the 14.68% over the last year, whereas the S&P 500 is up 5.51% over the last year. So keep that in mind. Also, it's not the only thing that you should use to make a decision about a dividend stock, but any information you can have that would help you do your research is better. I wanted to remind you that this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm only giving you information that will help you do your own research. That way you can decide for yourself if you want to add the stock to your portfolio or not. Now, if you do decide on your own that you want to own the stock, there are several ways. You can, of course, just buy the stock, one at a time or however many at a time till you reach as many as you want over a period of time. That's perfectly legit, perfectly fine. Another way is if you want to make some extra income, just a little bit, and still be able to buy the stocks, but buy them at a discount. You can use options, and this is not something I would do for consistent income because this company only offers monthly options, but it is a way to be able to buy 100 shares at a time if you want to, but receive some money for it. So you get paid to buy a dividend stock that will end up paying you more money as time goes on, as long as you have it in your portfolio. So if you want to do that, you will need to sell puts to start out with if you don't have any shares already. Like I said, this is monthly, so the next expiration is going to be May 20th. If you wanted to sell a put at the $25 strike price, you would need $2,500 in collateral. That is enough to buy 100 shares at the $25 strike price. With right now, the strike price is at $25.57 as of the date of this recording. And if you got that filled, you would be paid 90 cents per share or $90 in order to have that contract. Now, if the contract expires and the share price is above $25, even if it's $25.01, then the contract will expire worthless and you keep the $90. If it falls below the $25, then you are obligated to buy 100 shares at that strike price. So you would lose your $2,500 in collateral and you would receive 100 shares of this stock at that price. So, but it would effectively mean you'd be buying $25 a share for 100 shares, but actually only paying $24.10 per share because of the 90 cents per share that you're receiving from selling the contract. And of course, you would then receive dividends every quarter for as long as you own the shares for 100 shares. So if you were to hold the shares for over a year, you would receive $116. Since it's $1.16 per year per share, multiplied by 100, you would receive $116 for the year in dividends for owning this stock. And then if you wanted to make a little bit of extra income after you own 100 shares, you can sell calls. By doing that, you can, for instance, sell a call, for instance, at the May 20th. You can sell calls using the May 20th expiration as a example. You can sell the $27.50 strike price and you would receive 40 cents per share or $40. And you would only be obligated to sell those shares if the strike price rose above $27.50. So this is TradingView. It's another site I like to use to compare stocks, but also it lets me look at earnings and also a financial report much easier than having to look through a bunch of numbers and everything. So you can see here on this portion right here, this is the expected earnings and the actual earnings over the last year. And as you can see that over the last year, they have had low estimated earnings, but each time they've had the actual earnings outperform the estimates by quite a lot. And then if you go down a little bit more, you can see their revenue, income, and profit margin. So just taking a look at that, you can see back in 2017, they had a lot of revenue, a lot of income. You can see that back in 2017, they had a lot of revenue and income, and they had a very high profit margin. Then that dropped significantly in 2018. They still had just about the same revenue, but their net income dropped and their profit margin dropped a lot also. It bounced back in 2019. Then it dropped again in 2020 due to the pandemic, most likely. And then in 2021, it surged back up to where they had the most revenue over the last 5 years in that year. And they had almost, if not the highest, net income over the last 5 years. They didn't have the highest profit margin, but they still had a very good profit margin at about $6 billion. So that's one reason why I do personally like this Dividend Aristocrat. it is performing well, even if the stock price doesn't show it, and they are reliable at paying their dividend. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch my video and spending a few minutes with me today. I hope you found the information I gave you helpful and showed you some ways you can do some further research if this is a stock you want to add to your own portfolio. If you have any questions at all, feel free to submit them down in the comments and I will answer them as best as I can. If not, I will let you know that I don't know the answer, but I will try to find out. I will also have a link to my Discord where I give daily stock information, basically stock picks that I have for that particular day. Now, sometimes there aren't any stock picks for that day, and I post that too, that there just aren't any stocks that I see that are jumping out at me. But a lot of times that there are, and over the last month, I've made $110 in profit just by picking a few stocks that jumped out at me, investing in them, and then getting out when I had reached the profit margin I had determined was good for my portfolio. So that's up to you. That is, of course, free to join. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button down below. That's also free and it would also greatly help out my channel. And I hope you have a great day and good luck in the markets.